Thank you, Christina. So this is really fun because Christina and my wife, they do Zumba together. So it's kind of a fun connection there. So I'm really excited to be with you today. The reality is leaders, they don't necessarily need a lot of additional tools, and they don't necessarily make bad decisions. Instead, what often we do is we make decisions without thinking through all the repercussions beforehand, right? So it's not necessarily that we're being bad leaders. It's instead that we can't see around the corners ahead of us. And that's actually what we're going to help to solve somewhat today, using AI. Now, this isn't going to be an AI presentation. Instead, it's going to be more utilizing AI as a thinking partner together. And we're going to actually use one of your use cases today. So I want you to think through potentially some decisions maybe that you're trying to make in your business, whether that's hiring an employee, expanding into a different SKU, expanding into another market, or maybe something entirely different. I want you to think through maybe some of those, because I'm going to call on one of you today, and we're going to kind of work through that together with AI. Okay? Yeah, this is a test. Yeah. So now, one thing that's really important, and that is that more tools won't necessarily save a bad decision. Better thinking will. A few years ago, I was hiring for a new employee, and I did all the things that you're supposed to do. I checked references. You guys have probably all done it, right? You do the interviews, check the references, but what I did is I kind of rushed the decision. I made a decision. I went with it. 3 months down the road, things didn't turn out as well as I would have hoped. I see some head nods. Some other people have had this experience. It wasn't that I made a bad decision, but I had the information in front of me. I saw the red flags, but I justified them away. I saw, there's some skill gaps that I felt we could train. And the reality is, I wish I would have had the tools that we have now back when I was making that decision. It would have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of stress, right? Now, I'm going to share with you a concept. So most companies or businesses or leaders will do a postmortem where they're like, okay, like I did. Okay, we hired this person. It didn't work out. What could we have done better, right? But I'm going to share with you a concept that's termed a premortem. This is thinking through all the potential consequences beforehand and assuming that the decision that I'm thinking about right now making, it fails in 12 months and then work backwards instead. So instead of looking backwards 12 months from now, I'm going to say, okay, assume that this decision fails. What are the main reasons why it would have failed? That's what a premortem is. And we're going to use AI to kind of help us be a thinking partner in doing this. So what I need now is I need somebody, a brave soul here in the audience, that has a decision you're going to make. Not a hypothetical, a real decision, something that you've been working with over a period of time, something maybe you've been wrestling back and forth with. And I'd like to work using AI to do a premortem on your decision. Anybody brave enough to offer something up? Yes?
Sure. So one thing I've been questioning is, like, do I need to hire a specific marketer and team?
Okay.
Or do I need to just all AI it and do it myself?
Okay. So what type of marketing are you looking for? Is it digital or?
I'm a performance coach.
Okay.
Online coach. I have a ton of like speaking
Great.
Just need more lead gen and build it that way. So I'm hiring on the page. I fired that one. It's just so I've been thinking of it for like months.
Yeah.
That's all AI is.
Now, let me ask, what's your name? Tyler. Okay. Tyler's got a decision that he's trying to make. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions. Tyler, are you the main decision maker on this, or do you have other people that need to be part of that decision as well? Okay, perfect. Now, let me ask you this. Is this something that you've already decided, or you're still kind of mulling over and thinking through?
I've decided, not undecided. I'm not sure if I
Okay.
undecided and redecided.
That's a great place to be. That's also a great place where you can use a premortem, right? If you've already decided but you haven't committed yet, that's a good place to pause and to do this.
Somebody, but I didn't like their performance in the last 2 weeks. So I'm like, do I want to continue it?
Retrain or do something else. Got it. Perfect. Now, are there any major bottlenecks or major issues with this? You're deciding on a marketer, someone to do this. Are there resource constraints, or without sharing confidential information, are there any other things that we should maybe consider?
Not necessarily. I've paid out so much before.
Yeah.
I hate wasting assets on crappy stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm more cautious now. I don't just want to dish it out.
Understood. Okay, this is great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn to AI to kind of work this through. Now, you're going to hear it because I'm going to actually do it audibly. You can do this with many AI tools. You can use ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want. I'm actually going to use Claude today on this. But I want you to listen. I'm going to try to articulate this, Tyler, and then we'll kind of have a little bit of a conversation with Claude on this, okay? So, Claude, I've got Tyler. Oh, I want to make sure this is working first. Claude, can you hear me? I've got Tyler here that is trying to make a decision. This is not working yet. The network is this always happens. Okay, Claude, I've got Tyler, and he runs a consulting firm, does personal consulting, and he is trying to make a decision on whether he should hire a marketer to help his brand, to help move the needle. And he's already hired a person, hasn't really performed very well for the last couple weeks, and we want to run a premortem on his situation. And I want you to help us to see what kind of things is Tyler not seeing right now in terms of what he should be looking at for, and maybe help us to think this through.
Got it. So Tyler's got a marketer on board who hasn't moved the needle yet, and you two want to do a premortem to surface the blind spots before things get worse. That's smart thinking. Here's what I'd want to explore with Tyler. First, what does performing well actually mean to him? Is he measuring leads,
Can you see
brand
that
awareness, conversion, revenue? Because if the marketer doesn't know the real success metric, they're probably optimizing for the wrong thing. Second, I'm curious about the foundation.
Okay, so Claude is basically saying, okay, does this person that you're trying to hire for, do they know their performance metrics? Do they their KPIs? What exactly are you trying to solve for?
So, for me, it'd be ultimately having consistent, predictable lead flow.
Consistent, predictable lead flow? Okay, perfect. I'm just going to hand that to you. What's that? It's on? Yeah, it's on. Okay, so you're looking for a consistent lead flow in this situation. Okay, that's a good one. So I'm gonna add that to what we're talking about with Claude. We'll see if you can hear it a little bit better. Okay, so Tyler is considering really the biggest KPI for this marketer is consistent lead flow. And this could be for digital marketing or what's hitting his website. Do you have anything else?
Ultimately, going to my monthly challenge.
Ultimately, going to his monthly challenge.
Okay, so the funnel is clear. Consistent lead flow to his website, and they all funnel through his monthly challenge. That's actually really good clarity. Here's what I dig into with Tyler. First, what's the baseline? Before this marketer came on, what was his lead flow looking like? Because if he was getting 0 leads and now he's getting 5 a week, that might actually be progress that doesn't feel like progress yet. Or if he was getting 10 a week and now he's getting 3, that's a different problem entirely. Second question, and this is critical, does the marketer understand the monthly challenge conversion process? Like, what percentage of people who show up to the challenge actually convert to paid work? Because if the marketer's driving traffic but the challenge itself has a leak, they're being blamed for a sales problem, not a marketing problem. And third, is the marketer trying to build something from scratch, or is there existing content, case studies, testimonials that Tyler can leverage? Sometimes the barrier isn't the marketer, it's that the founder hasn't given them the raw materials to work with. What's Tyler's sense? Is this a lead volume problem, a lead quality problem, or is he not even sure yet?
What do you think, Tyler?
I'll answer all of those questions that were too many. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, the first one that comes to my mind is the number one way we get leads right now is through JV partners. Mm-hmm. So if I have a JV partner, we have great lead flow and great conversions. Mm-hmm. We've attempted to do marketing on like Meta and done some YouTube, different things like that, but we haven't gotten much traction on those at all. Mm-hmm. And so number one way that we drive traffic is just through JV partners and referrals.
Yeah.
And with him on, haven't really seen any improvements on anything on outside of that, or even amplifying that strategy in and of itself. Okay. More of just like concepts and ideas, but not a whole lot of implementation. And okay. So that's, what was the other ones?
Yeah, so the other one was, does he know...
in terms of the sales and, yes, yeah. So yeah, knows all those stats.
Is this sales or is this marketing?
Sales works great. When we run, whatever we run converts well. And well meaning we'll have, out of 150 people show up to the challenge, we'll have 50 of them show up to the offer. And out of that, we'll have 10 to 15% sign up for a $1,000 product. And out of those, we'll have about 2% upgrade to a 28K program.
Yeah.
So pretty good, like on the back end, I'd say. I don't feel like I need help in that realm, but I do struggle a lot on lead flow, leads outside of JVs.
Okay. So at this point, let me just press you on this for just a second. Are you in this decision trying to decide whether to test this one out for this one employee, or are you looking to maybe outsource your marketing to another firm to help you to move this even further? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, because I've hired a lot of firms over the years,
right?
And agencies anywhere from like $3,000 to $8,000 a month, and I've just come to the conclusion they all suck. And yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I prefer in-house because I know my message. I'm really good at converting on the back end, but on the front end is the struggle.
Yeah.
So
you prefer someone that knows you, knows your culture, understands your business, and can kind of help you get there better.
Yeah, because it's not like a biz op. It's personal development, transformation. It's optimization.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different genre than a lot of people are used to marketing.
Yeah, totally. That's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it a little bit deeper with the AI, okay? So I'm going to now give it a verbal prompt, and I'm going to say, essentially, we're going to kind of push it and say, okay, you've tried some of these other things, you've tried meta ads, and let's kind of push the envelope a little bit farther, okay?
Awesome.
So Claude, Tyler is now, we've talked about it a little bit. He's been using some meta ads, some other targeted marketing. He has used some marketing firms to try to help him, has had kind of lackluster experience, and it hasn't really been that helpful. In his words, some of those experiences have sucked, right? So what we want to do now is he's looking at actually doing something in-house for his marketing, but we want to verify and kind of see if this decision to use an in-house marketer fails within 12 months, what are the primary reasons that it's going to fail? And of course, it didn't pick up any of that. The Wi-Fi in here is not working as well as we would like. To just kind of skip past that, what will happen is when you're using AI in this way, and in a much more conversational experience, and as a thought partner, you'll notice some things that will happen. First of all, some of those decisions, those things, maybe those red flags that you were looking at, that I was overlooking when I was making that one hiring decision, those will start to surface. And what's great is AI, it won't just like tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes it will. You have to train it a little bit better in times. But the reality is those decisions, those red flags, and those things that maybe you weren't even considering will start to surface in this discussion. And you'll start to recognize, oh, there's some things that maybe I need to think about a little bit more. And you can always push back on the AI, because AI is not perfect. But AI can help you to see a little bit more clearly. AI doesn't have an agenda here. It doesn't have any stake in your business, Tyler. It doesn't have any stake in whether your marketing is successful or not. And so it can be a third-party experience here that can actually be a very, very beneficial thought partner as you're working through this decision. Thank you for being our guinea pig, Tyler.
Thank you.
So this is not just a party trick. This isn't a gimmick. This is something that happens on a regular basis. And I see some people nodding their heads like they've used AI in some of these ways. What we did together today is ultimately what we do inside AI Leverage Academy. We help business owners, and we work with their situations, with not use cases, not case studies. We actually use real live experiences, and then we solve them together in our meetings. And honestly, that is where AI becomes really remarkable. What we experienced here, it wasn't AI doing the work. This was Tyler doing the work, thinking through his experience, what he's trying to solve for, and articulating it in a way that is really beneficial. If you can articulate clearly enough and in enough depth so that the AI can understand it, you've already done half of the work. You solved half of the problem. And AI, as a thinking partner, can help you to get the rest of the way there. There's some really weird beeping sounds. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's not coming from me. Maybe it's this microphone. Who knows? The best leaders I know, they're not smarter than everybody else. They think through things a lot more, with a lot more depth and a lot more clarity. We've heard in several of our other discussions, clarity makes a big difference. And really, that's where I love to use AI, to get additional clarity. To solve problems, yes. To automate systems, yes. But I love it even more for just a thinking partner to kind of work through some of those challenges and trials. Now, AI won't give you all the answers. It will give you the space to think. And that is really what we're trying to do today. That's why I say, clarity is built. It's not downloaded. The AI tool is not going to solve all your problems, but it'll help you to solve all of your problems. And so that's my hope, is that what you've got gathered today in just a few short minutes. We spent, 15 minutes on Tyler's situation? Tyler, I hope you've gotten some additional clarity from just using AI in that small example. Now, I want to open this up. We've got 5 minutes. Any questions, thoughts, comments? Yes?
So in your discussion of AI, is the gaslighting.
Yeah.
What's the best way to stop AI from telling you what you do?
That's a great question. So there's several ways you can go about training the AI to not just gaslight you, not just give you all those hallucinations, right? Because that happens. AI hallucinates a lot. And it takes people with the experience to know when you read what AI gives you, whether it's actually accurate or not. There's a thing called a master prompt that I highly recommend. You can actually go to any AI and say, hey, I'm trying to build a master prompt. What kind of things should I include in that? My master prompt is 3 pages long. Okay? It's very, very detailed. Because what that does is that you're giving AI the boundaries that you want it to work within. And I would always add in there, challenge my assumptions. Don't just tell me what I want to hear, tell me what I need to hear. Things like that. And you'll also want to make sure that you say, this is my role, this is what I do, this is how I want you to interact with me. And by giving it that master prompt, it will work so much better for you. And that is across the board. Yes?
I think when you build those, everybody needs to know AI is used and the files and things like that. So when you have things in a structure, you can say, I want this formula for this, and it's extremely clear on having equations and giving it that access. You can say, I never want you to market. What I want you to do is pull your agent team. I want you to run these things. I want you to look at these social platforms. I want you to see what they're doing and how can you trade this and what we need to work on this week. But you need to have codes, prompts, and sets of rules, and those will stuff within the files.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Great comment. Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a question, but some feedback. My husband and I chose to attend the AI seminar that Tony Robbins leads.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic. Highly recommend. I'm sure your business does a fantastic job teaching people things too. The number one thing I took from that is the master prompt is like the DNA of how you want your AI to operate.
Yeah.
So I created a virtual clone of myself. And what I've always said in my business, I wish I had 10 more me's, right? And so what I did is I turned AI into a virtual version of me, giving it all my background, all my information on design criteria, how to make decisions for an architectural business, etc.
Yeah.
And it is, my business has skyrocketed in the last 2 months, 3 months. We did that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the biggest power of it. It needs to leverage our time as humans, and that's what I think resonates so much in a lot of these conversations.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you for that.
I think in that too, you can also build paths that represent them. You can say, make sure you get, if this equals and it's not a media thing, then you need a reference system document. So it takes like milliseconds to
Yeah.
read the paths and some prompts. You just have to get the true false, just like you would now.
Yeah. I've got my company brand guidelines in there and everything. So, and I build that in my master prompts. And you can take that same master prompt and you can put it in ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever tool that you use. So, I highly recommend it. I think we've got just a couple more minutes. Justin.
Just a quick question.
Uh-huh.
I understand the master prompt. I've actually built it myself. It's just a document PDF that I put in all my prompts that I do. But I've started to notice now it's getting to know you,
Yeah.
building memory, and then and how you engage, how you want information presented back to you.
Right.
Isn't it going to get to a point though that the master prompts are going to really be necessary?
Somebody else wanted to answer that. I mean, I could certainly answer that, but some other people here.
Theory, if you want to be vanilla like everybody else.
Yeah.
And the answer, so I don't believe in allowing it to learn. I want to dictate. So
you're the
it's
director.
great that it has all this memory, but I'm
Yeah.
going to go build a project folder for a given project, and I'm going to feed it the knowledge I want it to work from.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give that project folder the prompt that says, when we're in here, this is the knowledge we're using, not whatever. Think about imagine you had a super smart employee that showed up at work and you're like, I'm not going to train you. I just want you to just acclimate yourself. What if you have been screwing up your AI for 6 months? In its memory is the screw up. Congrats. You just created bad behavior, right?
Yeah.
So if you instead say, no, I'm going to dictate to it, and you will see more and more like the people who get better and better results are better at giving clarity,
Yeah.
context, understanding to the AI instead of expecting its memory to figure it out.
Yeah.
Therefore, the prompt becomes more of like your artistic expression of how you run it.
Yeah.
We're essentially kind of talking about two different things. There's the prompt and then there's the memory.
Yeah, so I want a Harvard MBA to show up in my small business and dictate how the master prompt, how that would work.
Yeah.
The marketer is the marketer is the marketer.
Gotcha.
And I would add to that every time that you, especially if you're doing like a major project in an AI tool, that you want to tell AI, this is your role, this is my role, this is the expected output that I need from you. And the more clear you are, the better the result will be. And so don't always trust, even in the master prompt, because master prompt will give it pretty good guidelines. But I also, in every single prompt, make sure that I'm very specific, very clear in what I'm looking for. I update my master prompt probably every couple months, depending on what I'm using. Or I'll also use projects. I'll do a specific project and have a master prompt for that project that will say, hey, on this project, this is how I want you to work. And you can kind of sandbox it so it doesn't necessarily mess up your other things. So I think we have time for we got 1 minute. One more quick question. Yeah.
Quick.
When AI goes rogue or pulls data from somewhere, and you're like, well, where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Back into that and say, well, where did you get that from? And that was not like, oh, yeah, I did have that.
Yeah.
You can undo that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, help me change that project entity or whatever file so that you don't interpret like this anymore. And you start to iterate and put in more sort of
Yeah.
If you see something bad, make that a trigger. Give it to a memory. Don't ever do this again.
Yeah. I always challenge if it does anything wrong, always challenge that. When I was doing one of my very first cohorts, when I was taking a group from UVU through this training, I was starting on Wednesday the 14th, and Claude kept saying Tuesday the 14th, and I'm like, what the heck? And I knew it and it kept coming up, and I started saying, no, you got this totally wrong, and I pushed back really hard. I had like an hour conversation with Claude. You need to look at the calendar because you are absolutely wrong. And it's such an interesting thing when you're arguing with AI, but it's important to do so that you can make fix those potential hallucinations or inaccurate things. So, Christina, thank you so much.
Let's give it up for Seth.